Hi, good day and welcome to another edition of Sports Check here on Ghana Web TV. My name is Daniel Ojo and as usual I bring you an exciting guest. Today, my guest is the latest world boxing champion in Ghana. He's actually the youngest WBO Super Bantamweight world champion. Today, he's giving me an exclusive privilege into how he became a world champion. I am inside his bedroom and his gym, his inside gym or in-house gym where all the action took place before he became a world champion. Today, he will walk us down the journey of his boxing career, the sacrifices he's had to make to become a world champion, and what the next stage of his career would be. Stay with us. We are back after the break to continue with the conversation. So welcome back from the break, and as I told you earlier, today my guest is the WBO Super Bantamweight World Champion, Isaac Royal Storm Dogboe. Isaac, thank you very much for accepting to do this interview with us.
It's all my pleasure.
So, where did it all begin? At what point in your life did you realize this is what I want to do as a full-time career?
Boxing wasn't my thing when I was young. I started boxing when I was 14. My father was the one that really discovered the talent. Well, I wouldn't say talent. Really discovered me, the strength that I had, and he just thought, what, I can mold my son into something great. Because he already had the experience from Ghana. He used to, when he was growing up, he was always in the Bukom area, with his friends, because most of his friends were boxers, and that's where he developed his art from. So when I was 14 years old, I was in England, I was playing football, and then, he decided, you know what, football is not working. You're too short, but you're strong on the field. So let's try boxing and see how that pans out. And at first I was like, boxing, I don't like boxing. So the time came, he kept on, pushing, and finally he was able to convince me. And yeah, since then, he started training me in the park, constantly. After school, we go for a run early morning when he comes from work. When I come back, come and get ready, then I go to school. After school, I come back, we go to the park, we train. And afterwards, after a while, he took me to a boxing gym. And then the first year of me joining the club, I won my first national title for the gym and the whole of England. So I became #1 in the junior novices. And then from then on, the second national tournament, I was the second in the national stage. So I became #2. I fought the European champion at the time. And I became #2 contender. And yeah, since then, we went on to win another championships. And less than 3 years down the line, I was getting, called to be in the, to justify for the Olympics for the Ghana team. And yeah, since it's just been, onwards and upwards.
That's impressive. It means that between when you started and you becoming a world champion, it's taking you less than 10 years.
Yeah.
You started at 14 and at 23 you are already a world champion.
Yeah,
We're talking about 9 years.
My father gave me, when I was in the amateurs, he gave me a 5-year plan. When I turned pro to the same thing, he said to me, you know what, if you really want to do boxing, you have to do the hard way or you don't do it at all. And then he says to me, you give yourself 5 years and see where you're going to be and see where your friends are going to be. And I guarantee you will go to the Olympics. And when he first said that, in my mind I was thinking, this is impossible. I just started boxing and already Olympic Games, but, he had that vision, and all I had to do was just listen, listen to what my father had to say to me. And we just followed it. We just followed the plan, and because I knew that he's my father. There's nothing that he's not going to do in there's nothing that he'll do that's not going to be in my interest, you know, because he wants the best for me. So yeah, I just had to listen, and we just followed through. And less than 3 years, I was in the Olympic Games, you know, and then I qualified. I was in Morocco. I phoned my dad and said to him that, yeah, I qualified. You know, I've got a silver medal. You know, I was the only boxer from Ghana to get a silver medal. And yeah, 17 years old, I was on my way to the Olympic Games, and it was an amazing feeling. It was like a fulfilled prophecy, you know.
You're still a teenager, so.
I'm 23. Yeah, I mean, at the time, yeah. And you know, after the Olympic Games, I had a horrible experience, you know. But I mean, things like that can only make you stronger, you know. And we had a lot of disappointments, you know, from our side of the team. You know, in terms of, I'm talking about the Ghana, you know, the Ghana side, you know, and it was really, really disappointing. But we chose to overlook that. We entered into a national tournament, Elite ABAs of England, and we won that, you know. And then after that, you know, I turned pro. I was 18 when I turned pro, and yeah, had my first fight in Switzerland, second one in Ireland. We ran into some managerial problems. You know, my dad got me out, and yeah, we moved to California. And had a few fights in California, and then when my grandfather passed away, came to Ghana.
But during the challenging period, you grew up in England, you mentioned at some point. Was there a point that you said, maybe I should naturalize, box for the UK like Anthony Joshua is doing, like other boxers have done in the past?
Well, you know, I was in the England development squad. You know, they sent me a letter, you know, and they said, my father said to them that, oh, they should make me fight against Luke Campbell, the person that was in my weight, was going to Olympics. But then they were like, no, we've invested so much in Luke Campbell already. We cannot afford to, you know, drop him in case your son should beat him, you know. So what we can do is let your son wait so that he can go to 2016 Rio Olympic Games. And, you know, but the Olympic Games was happening in London, you know, and I was already in London, you know. So yeah, my father said, you know what, okay, now this is what we're gonna do. So at first he approached the president of the Ghana Amateur Boxing Association, and the gentleman said to him, oh, your son is too young, he's too small. When it comes to Ghana, they'll beat him, they'll kill him, you know, because the people, they are strong and they are, you know, they are mature. You know, he said a lot. And my father, you know, was like, well, okay, he took it, you know. And then he came home, he told me what had taken place. And, you know, I was in college at the time. My father phoned me and said, Isaac, yeah, I just received a phone call from the Ghana Amateur Boxing Authority president. Said they want you to come to Ghana and do a justify your inclusion. Said yeah. He said, are you up for it? I said, yeah, you know. So, you know, we made an arrangement, and on the Friday I came to Ghana, and my father just let me go. He didn't even come with me. So he was like, we came, and then the first few days, all we're doing was just eating outside, you know. And then the first week, we go to a place like the kitchen, you know, it's in a mess, you know. It doesn't even look like a place that people actually, you know, live, that they even cook, you know. So we're actually on our own. It was myself, my cousin, that was Joshua Boache, and Leron Richards, and some other guy.
Oh, he's your cousin?
Yeah. And yeah, so we're like just on our own, you know. So after a while, my other buddies started phoning home, you know. They were complaining to their parents and stuff like that, said that, you know, they're treating us bad, and, you know, we're just getting sick because we had just come to Ghana, you know, just living in that place, you know. It wasn't, you know, the standards that we expected.
Because you were used to a certain lifestyle, a certain condition.
You know, yeah, but I mean, it took a while for me before I told my dad about what was going on, because I thought that, you know what, if I can soldier through this, I'm sure I can soldier through everything, you know. So we kept on going. And then finally, I just said to my cousin left. He was like, you know what, can't tell you this, man, because I'm in my last year of uni. You know what the people are saying they were going to do for us, they are not doing it. You know, I'm not gambling with, you know, stay whatever. So he left. So it was just myself, Leron, and the other guy. And yeah, so I phoned my dad, and you know, I said to him that I've run out of money. I need more money because the people, they're not looking after us. There's no car. You know, if you have to go somewhere, you have to take a taxi. So like, you know, what happened was I came to my grandfather's place, and you know, my grandmom and my cousins, they have to like show me how to bargain, you know, because the taxi drivers sometimes they look at you, and like they look at you how you're dressed or how you look, and if you just want to quote any amount of money to you. So you know, they actually had to like tell me that when this person says this, bring it down. At least when you go back to the middle. That's okay. So yeah, just, you know, constantly. So I phoned my father. My father was like, you know what, we just take it cool. I mean, he was upset. My mom was upset, you know, and everything. But we kept it low. So after a while, my father told me to leave the place and come and live with my grandfather. So I came to my grandfather's house, and you know, I was living here, but always going to the stadium to train there, you know, the team and stuff like that, and always training, doing some work on my own and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how, you know, went for the qualifications, and yeah.
What's your training schedule? What kind of training regimen do you do to be able to be this strong?
You know, if I don't have a fight coming up, what we do is active rest. You know, you do light stuff. There's no heavy. We don't run or anything. You know, just we are in the gym, skipping, just a lot of shadow boxing and things, those sort of things. When we hear that there's a fight coming up, you know, we do a 3-hour run once in a week. You know, and at times we are on the beach. We're running on the beach in the sand. You know, not on the hard bit. You know, but in the sand. We pull tire. We spar on the beach, and you know, we've got weights in our hands, and we come back to the house. We hit the bag. We rest. In the evening time, we get back in the gym. You know, in the evening times, we go on the steps. We go and run on the steps. We come back in the gym. You know, we skip. We start with the bags. You know, shadow boxing, speedball, pad work, and then sparring. You know, so it's constant. You know, so when you're in the ring, you just feel unstoppable. You know, you start walking like a silverback gorilla. You know, every step you take, it's like you just want to break the floor. You know, so when you go down, you get back up.
Okay. Was there an event that happened that broke your resolve to keep going at this? Was there a point that you said, you know what, this thing is not working?
You know, with me, I would say that there's no, when it comes to the boxing aspect, there's nothing that would, you know, that I would say that, oh, this is it, that's it, I'm not doing it again. It's just the stress that, you know, my father, that goes through in terms of the financial stress, you know, because because he's been my sole sponsor. Everything that he's doing is just him, you know, to the extent where he has to borrow money from other people, you know, just himself and a few families, you know. Now where we are going, it just keeps getting higher and higher, you know. So that's the only stress that we go through, the financial stress. Apart from that, the fighting, that's the easy part. In the training, well, you have to train because you have to. It's part of it, you know. That's the most important thing.
Now let's talk about the next phase of your career. Now you're a world champion. I'm sure there were a few doors that closed to you before that now maybe would open easily because you're a world champion. Are you getting any support from government after winning this title? Is there any financial support from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, from government, and from corporate Ghana?
Well, you know, what my father made me understand is that as of now, I think they've sent them a letter. The team have sent the Ministry of Youth and Sports a letter, and I'm sure they'll come through. We haven't heard nothing from them at this moment, so we're just waiting. But you know, just upon that, May 19th, you know, my grandfather Togboe Siri is organizing a grand derby in my honor, you know, in the Volta region at Anyakopota. So everyone is invited.
You're still here on Sports Check on Ghana Web TV. Today, we've been given access into the in-house gym of our new world champion, Isaac Royal Storm Dogboe. He's been walking us through his journey so far and some of the sacrifices he had to make. We're rounding up the interview in a couple of minutes, but Isaac, a lot of people like you. When I speak with them, what they like about you is his fluency. He speaks, his wisdom is way above his age. Is it because you grew up in London, or is it because, I mean, what's your level of education, by the way?
Well, you know, at this moment, I would say, I would thank God first of all, and then I would also love to say I thank God for the life of my parents. Okay. You know, because when you have great parents, they always make sure that you're always doing the right things. You know, I've completed college, and I'm now going to university. This September.
You're going to university as a world champion.
Yeah, because you know, from the beginning, when you start boxing, you know, from the beginning, that's the most difficult bit, because they can call you anytime to have a fight. You know, that's the reason why we train all year round, so that whenever they call you, hello, I'm here, let's go. You know, we've never, you know, ducked anyone. Anyone that when the phone rings and we pick up, yes.
Ready.
You know, there's never, no, my boy is not ready, it's not this. Nah, it's always, yes, when, give us the details, everything, bam, 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 boom, and we're out. But now I'm a world champion, now we call the shots. Now we know, you know, when we're going to have a fight. We know how to structure my training. Now it will be, you know, my training and then my school and everything. So right now, you know, so it was worth it to take a few years out. And when we decided to do this, people were thinking that, oh, so what if you don't become a world champion? What if it takes longer before you become a world champion? Does that mean that you still wait till you become a world champion before you start going to school? You know, but that's all part of the sacrifice. We've been on the road for 4 years. You know, I was in college. My father was working his time around mine. You know, from college, I'll come back home, we'll train, we'll do this, we'll do that. I get my schoolwork done. Now, soon after we finished college, and look, we decided to take a few years out. My father gave us, you know, we gave me a plan. This is how we're going to do it. We followed that thoroughly. And August is my 5th year as a professional fighter. And yeah, you know, he promised, he set a goal for 5 years, and we are still within that 5 years. So, you know, right now, the stress is coming down, although we've got debts, a lot of debts that we have to pay. Yeah. You know, now that I'm a world champion, after 3 fights, we'll be able to settle all those debts. Okay. So then there'll be a new beginning. You know, that is the next level. So now we start building from there. You know, so then whilst I'm going to uni, I'll have an easy life. You just study, and when the fight comes, you have a long.
What are you studying in uni, by the way?
I applied to study sociology.
In Ghana or in the UK?
In the UK or in the US. Okay. Yeah, you know, so.
You spoke about the financial stress on the journey to become a world champion. Now you're a world champion, and you are aiming to become a pay-per-view superstar. What are the things that would make you actualize this dream? At some point, you want your father to be able to also have a comfortable life and not have to dig into his account and use his reserve to fund your boxing career. You think you have arrived at that level?
I mean, not yet. I mean, but that's why I said after 3 fights, we'll be able to settle all those debts that are outstanding. And then from then on, it's a new beginning. When, let's say, so I would say after my 4th fight as a champion, we know that from this time everything is settled a little bit in terms of the the financial aspect.
Yeah.
We start living, we start being a little bit, we start being comfortable. And as the times are going on, you're getting more comfortable. You don't have to, my father wouldn't have to borrow money from this person to say that, oh, we need, if this and this and that happens, if God permits. So at the moment, we just have to still go on our knees and pray, to the Almighty God to, to give us that favor once again, all the favors that He's been giving us, that this goal that we've set, He should continue to have His mighty hands on us and take us through it, and we give Him all the glory.
Okay. What would be your word of advice to young upcoming boxers who are looking up to you, who want to follow the roadmap that you follow to become a world champion?
What I would say is, listening is key.
Okay.
Because most of the times, when you grow to a certain age, you think that you know everything. Sometimes your father or your parents or anyone will tell you that, look, you're doing something this way, but then you yourself within yourself, you think that, no, it's wrong, I want to do it this way. But if you are dealing with your parent, like how I'm dealing with my father, I know that everything that my father is doing, he's doing it in the best of interest. He's doing it in my best interest. Yeah. It was the best for me. So that's the reason why I listen to my father. And everything that, he has told me and I followed, everything has just been in a straight line. Some people, at times they'll see me and say that, well, you are so lucky. You have your father around, your father is doing this, your father is doing that. But then, one time I said to one guy and said to him that, is it everybody that listens to their parents? No. Not a lot of people listen to their parents. The same sacrifices that I'm taking, not many people do it. A lot of people want to, enjoy their life. They go out, everything that other people, that their peers are doing, they want to also be part of it. Not many people are willing to take the sacrifice of being the odd one out. So everyone has to listen to their parents, listen to one voice. Because if you want to listen to everyone that's around you, your mind is everywhere. You've got to have a focus. And that's the most important thing. And apart from all, the most important thing is pray to the God the God our Creator, and ask Him to show you the way, and your ways will be great.
Are you very spiritual? Every time I've heard you speak about God, your dad speaks about God and the God factor. How big a role does it play in your life?
Well, we come from a royal house. We've seen the dark side. That's our ancestors. And now we've seen the light. Okay. That the light, that's what Prophet Wovenu brought, And he came and changed the people who were worshipping idols and all those things, and changed their lives. And we, the new generation, we are following our footsteps of the people that have been changed. So we are following in the direction that God is the supreme God, and He is the one that reigns forever. And without Him, nothing is possible. So that's hence the reason why we are from a prophetic house. And that's why sometimes, I'm more encouraged to listen to my father, because everything he speaks, it has come to pass.
How long are you going to be reigning as world champion? Are you going to move up in weight?
Well, it's all in the plan. Okay. At this moment, we know that we're fighting in August, making our first defense, and then after that, we are looking forward to unifying the division. Okay. And then move up, to featherweight. Oscar Valdez is a featherweight. I called him out a few times, and he avoided me. So now that I'm a champion, when I move up, I become mandatory. So he can't find nobody but me. I see. So we're really looking forward to that.
Well, I'm sure there are a few people who have helped you along the way. Are there people you would like to thank, and what's the support you would expect from government and from corporate Ghana?
Of course, all in all, my management team, my father, Paul Dogboe, my uncle Ellis Koshiga, Uncle Mitch, John Marfo, Dogboe Belza, Glass Brown, Douglas Abaoyi, Kempinski Hotel, Marwan Zakim, and many other people. My Mercedes Benz, Mercedes, Silver Star Auto Mercedes. And look, my training team, Makafui, Abochi, Gameli, Dogboe. And there's a gentleman standing behind me. He's called Toro. And look, and coming to the royalties, I'd like to thank my grandfather, Dogboe Asiri III, you know, Awumefia of Anglon State, and Asante Hene, you know, another great man, another great king, you know, Tunfo 62 second, you know, and the, and also my uncle, Prophet Ogbuleho, my church people, the ARS church, and my mother, you know, my brothers, and
you're always
everyone,
speaking about your dad. Where's your mom?
You know,
Where's she?
I speak about my mom too, you know, and my brothers also. They're always there to always encourage you, you know, all the time. Unless, all the time, man. At times you try to, like, we spend so much time away from them, you know, because, at first it was hard, but now they know that it was for a good cause, you know, and they've also sacrificed a lot.
And you know, former President Rawlings is your relation.
Yeah, I think according to the history that my father was telling me, he relates from the mother side. Yeah, from the mother side. So, yeah, we come from a great family.
I see that.
You know, I've got the both sides.
Yeah.
The Ewe side and then the Ashanti side. You know, so it can only get better. You know, I'm always thankful for everyone. You know, thank everyone, everybody, people of Ghana, you know, for their love, you know, for their prayers, you know, and every time, you know, for the love that they're showing me, because everywhere I'm at, all I hear is good things, all I hear is great things. So just want to say, God bless everyone that is involved in Isaac Dogboe, you know, making this journey. Everyone that has been part of Isaac Dogboe's journey, you know, things can only get better.
It will only get better. Thank you very much, Isaac Dogboe, for granting us audience. It's been another edition of Sports Check here on Ghana Web TV with the new WBO Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, Isaac the Royal Storm Dogboe, the youngest Ghanaian world champion in our history. So that's been another edition. We're back same time next week on another edition of the show. Until then, keep well.